Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, I'm John, this is Many a True Nerd, and welcome to something just a little bit different. A video that I feel like I actually should have made quite some time ago. This video is very overdue, because it's very easy for me to forget that 300,000 subscribers actually makes us not quite a big channel, but, you know, certainly an okay-sized channel. You know, maybe even scraping B-lister on a good day, though I do think we're probably still firmly C-listed. But the reason I kind of wanted to make this video, where I really wanted to kind of flag some YouTubers that I personally really love, is I realised, and this kind of snuck up on me, like, at this point, Many a True Nerd is actually quite a bit bigger than some of my own favourite channels, which feels so weird. It just feels so weird. Like, I'm so used to the idea of us being a really tiny channel, because, you know, I've been here since the beginning. I kind of had to be, otherwise there wouldn't have been a channel at the beginning and all of that. So today we're going to take a little bit of time out to go and visit some of my favourite YouTube channels, and also just kind of go through why I love them, and just in case you want to go and give them a look yourself, I'm just going to recommend one video that you might want to check out to see if you like it, just to dip your toe in the water. So, let's dig in, shall we? First up, and appropriate enough, I'm going to begin by making a mistake, to be precise, a mispronunciation, because my first channel is in fact a couple of Icelandic guys. So the channel is Bigir Pulk. It's spelt Bigir Pal, but it's Icelandic. So apparently, like, an Icelandic Bigir Pal would, like, pick up, like, a T sound at the end, but pronouncing LLT is just a diphthong I'm not ready for in my life. So Bigir Pulk, like, with a K on the end, is as close as I'm going to be able to get it. I'm very sorry. Like, it's something like Bigir Palt. That would probably be okay. Anyway, Bigir Palt are basically an Icelandic duo who are pretty much, I'd say, one of, if not my favourite gaming-related YouTube channel at the minute. I love these guys. And it's absolutely fascinating. Basically, this is mostly in English and mostly in good English and sometimes in Icelandic with subtitles. They're just marvellous, and they just have such remarkable chemistry. They bounce off each other beautifully. Their videos are incredibly short form, really edited down, really tight, really dense little gameplay videos. Best known for their We Broke series, where they basically take a game and try and break it apart as much as they can. Their videos are chaotic and wonderful and consistently hilarious. I absolutely adore these guys. They're amazing. If you want to try these guys out, I think my favourite video of theirs of all time was probably, though it's a tough pick, there's a lot of amazing videos in these guys' back catalogue, probably Surgeon Simulator. So, like all the videos we're going to mention, that is going to be linked to together with their channel in the description below, but I absolutely love these guys. They are well worth a look. Number 2, and kind of the polar opposite, but still no less amazing for it, Masay Anella. Masay Anella is a fairly traditional Let's Player. It's long form stuff, long series, and it is just so relaxing and so well put together. She plans things well, she goes through things calmly, she just kind of goes through the game, lets you enjoy the story, lets the game breathe, adds just lovely light commentary onto the top. It is incredibly relaxing. It's just something I like watching at the end of the day. Her runs are amazing. And also, just in case you've ever kind of missed the fact, I don't really do Nintendo games on this channel, because basically my position is, if Nintendo ever start being nice to YouTubers, maybe I'll consider being nice to them. She actually does an awful lot of Nintendo stuff right now. In fact, actually, right now her current series is Zelda Majora's Mask, which I have been enjoying an awful lot. So, for a nice, relaxing series of videos, particularly with a Nintendo focus, strongly recommend her as well. Number 3, and this one is not actually a gaming channel, this is not just gaming stuff, Jenny Nicholson. Jenny Nicholson is currently, without a doubt, my favourite channel on YouTube. She's just amazing, and I love everything she does. If the name sounds familiar, but you can't quite place it, by the way, her Suicide Squad sales pitch video went quite viral a little while ago, but since then she's just been putting out more and more videos, and they have just been consistently fantastic. In fact, it's incredibly hard for me to summarise what she does, because the channel is incredibly varied and all of it works. Discussion pieces and comedy pieces around Star Wars. She digs out and goes through the worst books and worst fan fiction she can find. If I had to describe it, though this doesn't do her justice, she's kind of a vlogger that does long-form stand-up comedy delivered completely deadpan, but that just doesn't really even scratch the surface of it. She's marvellous and completely unique, and I love her, and you absolutely need to go and check out the channel. If there's one thing you don't want to check out, I would say it is her Script Doctor series of videos, where she basically looked at the 50 Shades film, Fantastic Beasts, and Batman v Superman, and suggested a series of improvements. I go back and rewatch those videos on a not a regular basis. They're just absolutely incredible. I cannot recommend her more highly. She is my favourite channel on YouTube right now. Plus, if you subscribe to her now, you can say you got in before everyone did. Because there is almost no doubt that before the end of 2018, her channel will be bigger than ours, and after that, the sky's the limit. Number 4, Jim Sterling, one of the larger channels I'm actually going to flag here today, and certainly not one that needs my help actually getting any more attention, but Jim Sterling deserves calling out anyway, because Jim Sterling is one of the good guys, damn it, and he's consistently proved right. When something goes wrong with the video game industry, go back a few years, you'll find Jim Sterling was calling it out years ago. If a studio shuts down a big publisher, shuts down a little dev team that they bought, Jim Sterling will have called it. So when Jim Sterling starts warning you about something now in his series Jimquisition, you can be pretty confident it is something you ought to be concerned about, because in a few months or a few years, it's going to have become the biggest deal that we all care about. Jim Sterling has been a prophet when it comes to picking up the things that matter in the video game industry, and he deserves to be called out for that. And he's always been willing to call out bad practices, even when it's landed him in trouble. He's had angry devs attempt to sue him, all sorts, and he's never backed down. He's fighting the good fight on YouTube, and he deserves praise for that. Just in case, however, Jim Sterling does happen to be new to you, yeah, a good summary of just the sort of stuff he's had to wade through while trying to do the right thing and call out the bad stuff in the gaming industry. Just try watching his When Jim Sterling Was Sued for $10 million by Digital Homicide video, which is a lovely summation of that entire mess, and it is a beautiful, beautiful takedown in its own right as well. Number 5, Air Force Proud 95. Now this is a perfect example of someone who's basically found something they are remarkably good at and doing it remarkably well. This guy, basically his entire channel is Microsoft Flight Simulator videos. Now that may not initially sound amazing to you, but this guy basically really understands how, you know, planes and airports work and are supposed to work, goes into Flight Simulator, interacts with other players, and basically tries to make everything run as it should do in real life, and keeps a straight face throughout. He's done it in multiple different ways, as a pilot, as an air traffic controller, in all sorts of different scenarios, and you wouldn't think it would stay fresh, and yet it does. I've stopped even questioning it at this point. It's not going to be for everyone, but this guy's just found something he's fantastic at doing, and does it marvellously well. If there's one video I think that makes me laugh more than any other, however, I would say it's probably air traffic controller's first day on the job in Microsoft Flight Simulator. I will link to that in the description below, of course. Number 6, NerdCubed. NerdCubed couldn't not be here, to be honest. Dan could not be absent from this list, because without NerdCubed, there's no many a true nerd. For those of you who don't know, it would have been back in, about 2012 or thereabouts. I saw two videos online. I saw 13 Ways to Die in Mass Effect 3 by Mr. NerdCubed, and I saw his original farming simulator video. I can't remember which I saw first, but I saw like both of them separately, and I watched those two videos, and I rewatched them loads of times, and those were the first two videos that made me think, ooh, making videos looks like a fun thing to do. I should do that. And in 2013, I started making videos, and here we are today. So Dan is the guy that inspired me to try making videos at all, and for that I can never repay him. I can never repay him for inspiring me to do that. And honestly, if you're not actually a fan of NerdCubed right now, he's going through a really fun, interesting experimental phase right at the minute, where he's coming up with some really, really cool, high-effort videos that are well worth a watch. If you have to check out just one, maybe if you're an old subscriber who's lapsed, maybe for someone who has never subscribed to NerdCubed before, then I would check out NerdCubed Builds a Tiny Town in VR, in Tiny Town VR, linked to below, because that thing is just... it's kind of like a work of art. So much effort goes in. The videos that Dan is making right now, so much effort is going into them. They are a thing of beauty to look at. Number 7, Movie Bob. Now, some of you may be kind of faintly aware of Movie Bob. Once upon a time, he actually did movie reviews for The Escapist, so you might be vaguely familiar with him from there. These days, his movie reviews, which is still very, very good indeed, by the way, those are over actually on Geek.com's YouTube channel, though that's not actually what I'd recommend you subscribe to, though feel free to, obviously. What I'm recommending is his own personal channel, Movie Bob, where he does really interesting kind of thought pieces about various films. He's just done some really, really cool stuff on The Last Jedi, by the way. He did like some really, really cool pieces on, like, you know, the themes of The Last Jedi and how he interprets certain characters in The Last Jedi. That was really, really cool indeed. But if you have to watch one thing, I would absolutely recommend watching, this is going to be a heck of a watch, by the way, a massive, and it is truly massive, it's several hours long, takedown of Batman v Superman, which is basically the most in-depth and brutal tearing apart of a film that I have seen since Harry Plinkett originally did the rounds back in the day. It's that damn wonderful to watch. Absolutely well worth a watch of that, even if you're not interested in the rest of the channel. Link to that in the description below as well, of course. And finally, Door Monster. I love these guys. This is basically sketch comedy, but about gaming. It's a smallish channel, but it all just works absolutely beautifully. The scripts are consistently sharp, the delivery is good, the acting is great, the costuming's fantastic, the special effects that occasionally show up are surprisingly excellent. And most importantly, it is consistently funny. These guys put out regular sketch comedy about games. I cannot remember the last time I watched a video and thought, nah, that one didn't really work for me. Like, it's consistent hits. There are no misses mixed into this. It's just consistently extremely good quality sketch comedy about games. Though if you have to watch just one to give yourself a taste, I think the very first one I ever watched, and one that really does stick with me, is in fact Civ 6 New Workers, linked to below. Well worth a look. I absolutely adore those guys. They're absolutely fantastic. So there you are, ladies and gentlemen, that is just a list of 8 YouTubers that I absolutely adore. Some of them larger than us, a terrifyingly large amount actually smaller than us. So I just felt like, you know what, we've been lucky. We've been hugely lucky to get where we are today. I just wanted to pass on the love to a few other smaller channels as well as just kind of give some attention to some bigger channels I think deserve more love as well. Links to all the videos that I've mentioned, as well as the channels in general, in the description below. I thoroughly recommend checking all of them out. They're all absolutely excellent. And who knows, maybe I'll make this like an annual thing. Next year I'll come back and recommend some brand new channels as well. We shall see. But in the meantime, I've been John. This has been many a true nerd, and this has just been a quick summary of the YouTube channels that I myself adore. Thank you very much, and goodbye. I've created a small problem in my road system, which is, it's literally impossible for anyone to ever go back into town. And this building shall be where we produce our zebras. And this much taller building next door is naturally where we produce the giraffes. Does anyone remember how the road system went? I think it was something like this.